Good morning. Good morning, Ernesto.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
Oh, fine, fine. A little bit cold, but I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, Rebecca. Okay. Could you please just write your names just for me to have the list of the participants? I would really appreciate if you write it in the chat box. Okay. Good morning. Okay. Well, okay, I still have students coming. So I will take maybe 2 more minutes to admit the students that will arrive, and we will start in 2 minutes. Okay, those who just entered the session, please type your name in the chat box just for my list to have the record of the participants. Okay, I think well, still more students. I hope they are coming, but I would like to start with some short introduction because I really hope to analyze many points today. Well, maybe if we have time for some of you to participate and ask some questions or clarify some doubts. But I have analyzed your task, so I can actually see the doubts or things that you are struggling on, the information maybe that is clear, or I would say that maybe some of you skip or do not understand the reading. So that's why some things should be improved. So I decided to emphasize on those things that many students continue having mistakes. Well, to begin, I would like to start with a quotation. And this is just to help you to be motivated and keep doing the job that you are doing. Most of you are doing excellent job. So once we have Les Brown said, our ability to handle life's challenges is a measure of our strength of character. So I would like you um, to think of this life, of this experience, this living like a challenge that you have in your life, that can help you to become stronger as a person, as a teacher, well, as a student, and well, show that this generation is strong and can handle any kind of situations in life. So I know that we are living different situations, and many of you know that I try to understand and help you in many ways that I can. And but anyway, we have to keep going. So let's start first with Unit 1. So we already finished Unit 1. It was very short. You had to improve and reflect on the research proposal. What does it mean, improve? Okay, improve the research proposal was for you to go through all the elements of the research proposal and well, make corrections according to the last feedback that you received last semester, and also according to the new reading material, because there were new points that you had to double check and prepare for this semester. So some of you didn't really change the things according to the reading material. So maybe just going to the assessment plan and see, okay, yeah, just improve the research proposal. I already improved last semester, so this semester I won't do anything, and I will just write reflection paragraph and it will be enough. So unfortunately, it was not enough. You still had to go to the reading material, to the tasks that were provided for you to help to analyze your mistakes, the ideas that you have in your research proposal and that should be added. Okay, so I have already read all the tasks, but I haven't finished uploading the grades and feedback in the platform. So maybe like 10 students are missing. So if you haven't received your feedback yet, so it means that maybe today or tomorrow, I will try to finish, okay? So before you deliver your task, you should check the feedback just in case if there are some things that you still need to improve, okay? So let's get to the today's, let's say this week task. And this week's task is we continue working with the same research proposal and we continue improving. So you need to plan. Now we're going to work more on the data collection stage that actually you already had to improve, and you have information how to do it and what is required in the Unit 1 information. But now you have already extra information to add. Okay, so I would like to remind you that all of you are doing action research, and all of you will be using both methods, quantitative and qualitative method, to analyze data and collect and analyze. But also you will be conducting three instruments, and they have a strict order. You can go to the general information in the platform. I would suggest you to analyze the syllabus. The information that is provided helps you understand how it is going to happen, when. So these are like the stages that you have to improve. Okay, you should also understand what the piloting stage is. We already discussed this. Let's say this, the meaning of this stage in the previous semester. We had readings, we had tasks in the study material, and extra readings about the piloting steps. Well, if some readings are maybe difficult for you to understand, but there is so much information that you can keep looking and researching. Finding what is piloting in the research. If you look for the meaning, it's very easy to understand that piloting is, in simple words, something like the first point to start, the point that helps you to improve, okay, helps you to check your mistakes, well, correct them and improve. Okay, so the piloting stage is only for you to improve your instruments like interviews, observations, and questionnaires, improve them, and find the mistakes, uh, conduct at least the least number that is provided actually for you. For example, in interviews, the least number in this 1 week, not 2 weeks, okay, only 1 week. Piloting, you will interview at least 2 people. If you can more or you need more, you can do it. And you will find the not necessary questions or maybe difficult questions that students do not understand, or giving you the answers that you are not expected to receive. So maybe you will need to add some questions. And in this stage, you will add and remove the words or questions that aren't needed or not correct. And the piloting stage is only experiment, is only like a laboratory, right? You checking, it's not counting, okay? So you, after piloting, you start actually research, and these are the participants of your research that will be counted for your data collection. So when you have the research steps, let's say you might also emphasize, let's say in the interviews, you might have extra information that you need to add. For example, in this material, you have to add permissions, and you have to add, so permissions should be already done this week, or you should have them already. And the background, let's say you worked in this unit on the background of students and teachers, right? So this is not interview. This information should be done so before you start the interviews. And interviews are for you not to find out what the background of students is, because you should create the interviews that will be based on solving the problem, looking for the possible solutions to your problem of the research. And background information will be extra interview that you might implement during the first week of piloting, or you could start doing it before you start even the next unit, right? Even this unit or the following unit that you have still unit 3. We're going to get to that unit in a moment. So that should be done before you start a real research. Okay, so obviously you need to know clearly what the data collection stages are organized. You can also prepare the activities. So some of you provide the stages of the lesson plan. This, Ernesto, give me a second. I will give you the time to speak. I saw your hand. Let me just finish this. And the activities, for example, are in the class where you have observation. So that will be also extra activity that you will design. It's not the observation plan, okay? So the stages might be observation, but you have like sub steps. For example, I created the lesson plan, and I will have the lesson plan. So obviously the lesson plan steps will be in the lesson plan. So it's not necessary to put these steps in the research stages, because the lesson plan is a step for you in the observation stage. Okay, so you should know what you plan to do during the interview, observation, and survey. So if it's observation, so you know that you will give the class, or you will observe another teacher's class, right? Even if you do not know what class yet or what teacher, right, what exactly task, so it's not necessarily specified right now. Remember, the next unit we will continue improving. This unit you might already design some things, or you might already contact the teachers and discuss the situation. So you should try to clarify and let the teacher know what you will observe. For example, if you observe the teacher, let's say Adriana or Mariela, class or another teacher at another school. So you should let them know that, okay, I'm looking at the point of vocabulary. Okay, so maybe this part of the class you can join the session, or she can record this and have this as evidence, as a video for you to see. And obviously, if she says, sorry, next week I do not have any classes, I have exams, okay, so it will not be a help for you. So you might ask the teacher to record the videos before the conduction week. So you still have time to contact the teacher and check if during the conduction they will have any exams, they will have any tasks that are related to, let's say, reading. If you're checking reading comprehension problems or motivation, or depending on what details you are checking for your research. So then you can move your observations, because observations are very flexible as they can be recorded, and the only thing you will need to do is to observe. Okay, remember, you are observer, you are researcher, not another teacher is observing, you are observing. Okay, so here, Ernesto, I finished this part, I think, right? Okay, so Ernesto, do you have a question?
Yes.
Mhm.
So piloting interviews is when we collect information about the student's background and
No,
what's the other section? No?
no. Piloting information is only for you to check your interviews. You will design next unit, you will design interviews. Some of you already have your interviews, but you saw that I have never mentioned in feedback if your interviews are okay or not, if your observation forms are okay or not. This was for you, if you have already some ideas to present some questions that I will be using, maybe you already have some ideas, right? But you do not know how, well, at least I haven't taught you how to design interview. We didn't have this subject, this topic yet, right? So then this topic will be in the next unit. And you will have the instructions how to design interview, how to design observation, and how to design questionnaires. You will have a general information, so you will start designing it, okay? But still, when we get to specifically one interview, you still will have some extra details to improve your interviews, and that will be piloting week. Well, you will be checking the feedback when you already designed, okay, I found my mistakes. Now piloting, I'm correcting my interview, okay? I'm
Okay.
my interview, but I need to interview at least 2 students to see my mistakes. I think it's clear. But if I interview you and you will be, teacher, I don't understand this question. Or maybe you get the answer, but these answers are not even helpful for you or for your research. They are not necessary. You're just wasting time. You spend 1 hour interviewing one student and you ask so many unnecessary questions. Okay, so you will reduce the number of questions, or maybe you add. The piloting is about only improving, but you might also need to have extra information. So let's say in this unit you had to design a background. You had the ideas of what kind of background, right? Background about the teacher and student. So this information I usually suggest to do before the research starts. So you already have the idea of what kind of students you have, okay? So you cannot just come up at the end of the research and say, well, the teachers have problems in the vocabulary because they have low level of low level, right? That's not the answer, right? How can I improve the low level students, right? To improve their vocabulary or whatever you're working, like solving the problem that you have, or they are not motivated because the English level is very low. It's not the reason. This is just background. You know, you analyze your information on the level of students. So, and you prepare the interviews depending on what level you have. Or let's say maybe there is a cultural background that you need to see before you start interviewing them. Okay, So that you see that, okay, there is a cultural differences, okay, maybe. So the background information in this unit, you have to design it and have if it's necessary for your research. Well, most of the cases, it will be very helpful. So you can give this or have this background, or obviously checking with the teacher what teachers know more about students, right? So there are different ways you can complete this task. You can do it this unit. If you haven't finished, you still have next unit to finish it before you start your actual research. So you are ready to design correct interviews. Okay, but it also can be done, let's say, before you pilot. So you can have the background information, and then you are piloting your interviews, and you see that, okay, according to the background, according to my interviews, there are some things that do not fit. So you are improving. In the other 2 weeks in the interview part or stage, let's say, 2 weeks you will be conducting. So I will not see you for 2 weeks. You will be free of me for 2 weeks. And you will conduct your interviews, you will organize the ideas, but not analyze. Okay, so actually we will get to that point. So is it clear, Ernesto? So piloting is for you to improve these instrument interviews, improving them, have them well organized, well designed. That's the point. Okay. So
Okay.
very good. So as you see in the unit 3, we're going to design instruments. I will give you some details or maybe information, some readings, videos where you can find how to design interviews, questionnaires, observations, and you will just have to try, well, to keep uh, um, your interviews, questions or observations well designed, right? I lost my point. Okay, well, that will be only for design, okay? Unit 3. But when you already start unit 4, right, it will be only interviews. Unit 5 will be only about observations. That's the following, right? So remember, the questionnaires will be the last ones. They will not be before. If you have some questionnaire that is extra and needed before interviews or during the interviews, that can be 2 instruments. Okay, that will be an extra instrument. Doesn't make sense? So you will be delivering only this week interviews, this week only observations, and the last, not week, sorry, stage. And the last stage is questionnaires. Try to keep everything organized, right? When you are interviewing, you will be just keeping your evidence organized in a digital form. So you interviewed and you put everything in the computer, the answers, you organize the answers, but you do not analyze yet, okay? In the following units, right? So I mean, during the conduction, for example, interviews. Let's start with the interviews. So you're going to, in unit 4, you have design appropriate interviews, refine your interview as a result of the piloting experience. So which means improve your piloting interviews. Okay, and that will be done during the week 1 of the unit 4. Okay, and you will receive only 5 points for this. It is necessary to interview at least 2 or 3 participants. Okay, at least. If you need more, it's okay. We start interviews piloting on March 15. So this is first week of interviews, piloting. And then the following 2 weeks, week 2 and 3, you will conduct, you collect and only organize, not analyze, not interpret. That will be only, as well, you will have the special task about it, what you have to deliver, okay? And you will get 10 points for this task. So remember that minimum is 6 interviews, at least 6, which means 6 people, or maximum 12. Well, I put maximum, that's just suggestion. You can have more if it's necessary. I suggest, this is just advice, look for more people, okay? Look for 12 people. Okay, even if you plan to interview only 6, you you will be assured that you will get the 6, because sometimes having 6 in your list, some of these people won't be able to participate. Okay, they might cancel, or maybe they will not answer your email. Let's say something happened with me with one of you sent me a survey, and I really wanted to participate it because I liked the topic. It was something about it was the task from another teacher for many of you, and I wanted to participate, but I think it was too late. So when I saw the email, um, I didn't respond right away, but the next day I responded, and the student already finished the task. So it was late for me, right, to participate. So that's why you try to get more people. So you are sure that you get 6, okay, because maybe somebody doesn't answer. Okay, I hope this clear, everything clear about the interviews. So during the interviews, you can also have extra instruments if it is necessary. For example, like a background information, if you still need to interview and get this background information. So you should do it or before or during this stage. Okay, so that's not the part of interviews. Okay, so I think we can go quickly to the observations. So here, observation is the same thing. We start April. So actually you will have interviews 1 month. You can see that you will have 1 week before vacation and then 1 week after vacation, right? So you come back, you will finish interviews, you will have 2 weeks of vacation in April, and that will be 4 weeks that I will not see you for 4 weeks. 1 month you're free doing your task, obviously busy doing tasks, but without me. Okay, obviously I will be in checking the platform, so if you will talk about the assessment plan forum in a second. So anyway, April 19, you start observation. So week 1, piloting, the same thing, at least 2 observations. It should be mentioned in the data collection stage, how many observations you will have, what teacher will you observe. The piloting is only for improving your observation form, okay? Because the points that you want to see in the class, maybe you don't see. So how is it going to be helpful? Maybe the points that you saw, you need to add, right? So we also will have the details how to create the observation form. And then when week 2 and 3 comes, you need to already do the real observation. So the observation that you will do during piloting or any kind of instrument will not be counted. You cannot use this information for as a the number of my observations that I did. I need, for example, minimum 4. So it doesn't mean that you have 2 and 2, it is 4. No, 2 plus 4, which comes with the 6 classes that you need to at least to observe. But you will analyze only 4 if you have 4 observations during week 2 and 3. I hope it's clear, right? But here, some students have doubts. How can I observe if I do not, I cannot go to school, I cannot observe the teacher, right? I think this subject is much easier doing online than going to school, because when you get the permission from school, you need to get a permission to enter the school, and many schools do not give this permission. Many students, you know, if we studied about the relevance ethics, you can you know already that many students do not feel comfortable when somebody comes to class and observes. So there are many ethical issues and many problems that you might have during the session when you go to school, right? But here online, it's much easier because you can join the session as a class, as a student, or as a participant. So, or you can just be there without anybody knowing who you are, right? Or teacher can record the class. So, for example, how to observe. You are a researcher, so you should observe. okay? Either it is a synchronous class or recorded video, okay? Do not confuse it with the peer observation. Some of you think that the teacher, something happens. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so somebody thinks that this is like somebody is going to observe you. It's not that somebody observes you. You observe a class, your own class or another teacher's class, okay? So if a teacher has only one class per week and you need to observe 4 classes, okay? And you have only 2 weeks for observation. So what can you do? You can talk to your teacher right now, or you, if it's your class, you can start recording your classes since today, okay? And keep these recordings, these videos, okay? Because when you start designing the observation form and then piloting and improving, you will analyze the classes using this form. You will be observing the class and using the new form that you will improve during the piloting. So you cannot come up with at the end of the observation stage, at the end of April, you say, teacher, but the classes were canceled because something happened and they had exams, so I didn't observe any class. Okay, you are warned that you can do it before, and it's possible because you can record these classes, okay? So record the number of classes that is needed for your research. You can do even more classes because maybe those 4 classes will not be enough. You will not see the details that you need for your research, okay? Remember to clarify the topic of your investigation to the teacher so the teacher doesn't record the exam or doesn't record something that is not really needed, okay, for your research. If you are, your topic is vocabulary or motivation, like the student's interests, so obviously a teacher needs to know what you are observing, okay? Another thing that I can also help you to motivate other teachers to, because not all of you have your own classes. So the tip that I give you, what it means, benefit the teacher or school where observations will occur. How to benefit? Obviously, we're not benefiting like paying them money or giving them something, but benefiting might be letting them know that the results that you will obtain or some tips, advice to improve the class, you might share this information with them. Okay, so this way teachers might say, okay, so if you give me something, I can let you in. Okay, so this observation that will be happening might be also a help to the school or a teacher, okay, even without students knowing that they are observed, okay, the teacher is observed. So it's not necessary to let the students know, okay? So in the questionnaires, actually, that will be the same thing. You start questionnaires on May 10. So first you start with the piloting, at least 5 participants. Remember that you need to mention the number of students in the data collection stages, okay? Week 2 and 3, you will conduct, not analyze yet, only organize all the information in a digital form, okay, not writing. So minimum of the questionnaires is 20 people, right? So which means 20 people and maximum 30 questionnaires. You can have more if it's necessary. So I also have students that have questions about how to record the names. It's not necessary to write their names, but it can be, for example, student 1, and you have a questionnaire of the student 1. Or you can write just the name, or if it's okay, sorry, you can have Mary Lopez, for example, the name. Or if you interview teachers, it can be teacher 1, or teacher Juan, or teacher Juan Lopez, okay? So remember, the minimum is 20. And I think with like running, or the time. So I would like to remind you that we also have the same system of grades. Remember that the subjects in BA, we count the passing grade is based on the grades and also the absences. Even if it's an online course, the absences are taken if you're not delivering the task, if you actually, there are like 5 hours of this course, 5 hours, so which means you have to work from Monday to Friday. Every day you should take at least 1 hour working on this course. Obviously, it's illogical, it's very difficult as you do not have that time at home. That's because it's easier when it is obligation. You go to school and you have it. But that is suggested time. But I'm pretty sure that you can do it in less time because the reading material, you have provided the time, and the whole reading material you can do in 2 hours or even less, right? And finish task also in maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour. So you do not need to spend 5 hours a week. But well, obviously, if you do not deliver, it counts like absences. Okay, you do not deliver task, you have absences, and not delivering, how many? 12 absences you have. So not delivering, let's say 2 tasks, you might not be able to do the end of course task. Okay, so which means you need to be sure that you try to deliver all the tasks because the absences will be counted as a week. Okay, so it means you do not work on that task, you have absences and you have 0. Okay, so you can see this in the general information in the platform. Okay, the extra points, sorry, the end of course task points are 30, and then you have 5 points for also all of the tasks, only 10 points for the conduction. Okay, and well, deadlines, please also check the deadlines. They are very important. They are not the same as the last course, so please check deadlines in the syllabus. We will not be having sessions, only sessions that I consider it is necessary, but I hope we have the next session, if we do, after you finish all the conduction. So if there is a need, well, then I will have to assign one, okay? Okay, yes, Edson, we have a question, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, teacher. I have a question
Sure, go ahead.
regarding the deadlines of the work.
Mhm.
In the guide, it says that we have until Sunday, but in the platform, it says that we have to deliver the homework on Saturday.
Yes, please follow the instructions. Yes, this was the mistake in the unit 1, but next tasks, please follow the guidelines of the syllabus. Okay, the syllabus that you have in a general information, this will be the deadlines. I know I didn't count this because I saw this mistake. I think Valeria helped me to correct it. But yes, I need time. I need to be sure that I can at least give you the results before you deliver the following task. So there is not enough time for me to check and read all the tasks if you deliver it on Sunday. So I take Sunday checking your tasks as a free day because also I have classes on Monday. So it's kind of difficult for me also to get the time for checking. So that's why some deadlines are on Sunday, some of them are on Saturday, but please start checking through the syllabus. Okay, Edson?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Meet chair.
Yes, go ahead. Mhm.
Can we interview some students and apply the questionnaires to other students, or they have to be the same ones?
It depends on your research. Okay, I think there is like a time limit. So if I get cut, so I will be back. So if you still have questions, you can come back. Okay, but yes. it's possible, but it also depends on the research. If you are improving like a general thing, a motivation, for example, maybe if you're looking for different strategies to motivate students, and you can compare groups, but I do suggest that you have the same students, but maybe in the questionnaires you have extra students. Okay, so let's say I interview 6, but at least